What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Bull Combo. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great day. Today I'm coming at you guys with another Earth 2 video. Today we're talking about travel inside of Earth 2. So stick around while we discuss all of the different potentials and opportunities for travel and transportation in the Earth 2 ecosystem. Alright, so before we get started, guys, I just want to let you know that tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be on the Guidebook Gaming live stream. They're going to be checking out one of these videos, and they're going to be doing an interview where I'll be hanging out with them and talking to them for about an hour or so. So make sure to swing by there and say hello. I'll include the link down below to the stream in the description here. That should be a lot of fun, and I really can't wait to do that. Alright, guys, and if you like these videos, make sure to hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and click the bell to get notified so you don't miss a new video. And if you want to support the channel in any way, make sure to use that referral code down below. I'm going to be looking at other ways to support the channel here soon, probably a merch store, maybe some other options, so be on the lookout for those. But in the meantime, if you really want to show some support for the channel, the referral code is the main way to support it right now. So anyone that watched my Phase 2 video from 2 weeks ago knows that I mentioned Wolfgang speaking in a Discord voice chat about the possibility of teleportation and fast travel not being included when the game first releases. This means that there's going to open up the possibility of manual transportation. The devs have previously expressed how many alternate sources of revenue they would like to see included in the game. So I do think there's a really big potential that we'll see a lot of travel and transportation styles similar to Earth 1 carrying over into Earth 2. Now, I don't necessarily think that we're going to see everyone driving a car. I don't think that's a realistic expectation from a game like this. Plus, I think that would be really taxing on servers for every user in the game to have a car, for that to be rendered, and for that travel to be shown. So I don't really think that we're all going to have personal forms of transportation like that. I do think that walking and running will obviously be ways to move around in a short area, and it's possible to implement things like bikes, rollerblades, things like that to move around slightly larger areas inside of a city or things like that. But I think when it comes to long-term transportation and long-distance transportation, we're going to be limited to a few options from the get-go. Now, we don't really know how that's going to work, but if I had to guess, I would think that there's going to be some options very similar to Earth 1. Airplanes seem to make a lot of sense. You could build an airport at one location, an airport at another location, and basically just travel between the two. How the logistics of that'll work, we really don't know. It does seem like there will be multiple travel options in the game, probably very similar to their Earth 1 counterpart. This leads us to a separate conversation, and that would be how exactly transportation is going to be handled from a monetary perspective. Now, it would seem like there's the opportunity here to create both a private and public sector of transportation. If they created a private form of transportation, this would just be another revenue stream that goes back to the game itself. Right now, there aren't a ton of revenue streams that lead back directly to Earth 2. A lot of the engagement, a lot of the exchanges involve money being transferred between users. So I think that adding a public form of transportation would be another revenue stream to help ensure the long-term success of the game. But that also opens the opportunity for private travel. So as an example, we could have public travel that costs a certain price and takes a certain amount of time, but then we could have private travel that costs slightly more but takes less time to get to a certain destination. We don't know exactly how that's going to work yet, but I do think based off of the devs stating that they want multiple revenue stream opportunities in the game, does lend itself well to there being forms of privatized transportation. And I do think we can expect that in some form when transportation and travel make their way into Earth 2. Another thing that's been bouncing around in my head is exactly how long travel will take. Part of me thinks that the travel might be fairly quick, but then a part of me also thinks that it would be beneficial for travel to take a longer period of time. Hear me out. If travel takes a longer period of time, one, people aren't going to travel constantly unless there's real intent. And I think with a game like this, you want to make your decisions have as much weight and intent as possible. So I don't think we would want to make it a situation where people are traveling 100 times a day from here to there and everywhere for no reason other than to just travel. So I think that travel will be for a reason at first. And that makes me think that the travel time needs to be thought out very well. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities by including travel time to include other revenue sources, etc. For instance, imagine traveling by train, and during the traveling time, there's an animation that you see during that entire travel experience of, maybe you sitting in a train, looking out a window, and there's an experience inside of traveling. Maybe a game inside of the game. You can look out a window, you can see billboards placed that other users have placed, advertisements, things like that. And I think it would lend itself well to creating a living, breathing world where transportation is something that's a conscious decision rather than just something that's willy-nilly done. I think that would provide some weight to the world and kind of make decisions seem like they have a little bit more weight to them when they're made. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was really the frequency at which we can expect travel to occur when it becomes available in the game. And I think that an important point that needs to be made here when we're thinking about that is exactly what type of game this is. And it's important to remember that Earth 2 is basically two different games. There's a version of the game that's going to be played, the user experience, and then there's a version of the game for people that want to manage, build, and create. And I don't think that people are going to have to fall in both of those categories. There's going to be plenty of people that have no interest in owning or creating land in Earth 2. They just want to experience what there is to experience. And that'll fall under the playable section of the game. But there is a whole other side of the game, and that's the development side. And that's the land management side. So I think it's very important that we understand there are two different forms of the game currently being worked on. And so when we talk about travel, we don't really know where travel is going to fall in that. And just because they roll out portions of the game doesn't mean they're going to roll out the playable portions of the game at the same time. They could roll out the land management section far before we ever get access to actual travel or the ability to move between our tiles and our neighbors' tiles. So I think that a lot of this has to be taken with a grain of salt, and there's a lot of speculation. If I had to guess, I would think that travel will be very rare at first. And I know a lot of people are counting on foot traffic and all these other things, but I think until the transportation routes are established and until the transportation infrastructure is rebuilt, travel will be slightly rare. Now, a lot of this is based on the land wipe that's going to occur sometime in Phase 2. We don't know exactly what is being wiped and what isn't. We do know that buildings are being wiped according to the devs, but they haven't clarified whether or not roads and highways are being wiped. If they are wiped, obviously it will take us longer to reestablish those transportation routes. If they're not wiped, it would probably be a lot faster for us to establish transportation and travel inside of the Earth 2 world. So we definitely will have to see how they approach that portion of it, but I think that that's really going to determine how frequent travel is initially, and I do think because of that it's very possible that travel is rare when it becomes available initially inside of Earth 2. So those are just the main points, guys, that I wanted to talk about regarding travel. I know there's a lot of different things that we could discuss here, but I kind of wanted to do a high-level overview of travel, and some of the main points I think are really interesting and that we should start thinking about and considering. If you have any other ideas or thoughts on travel, I'd definitely like to hear them down below in the comments, so make sure to comment down there and let me know. If you have any questions on this, I'd be happy to answer it the best I can. I really appreciate you guys checking out these videos as always. And if you have any ideas on future videos, let me know down below as well. I'd be happy to try some of those at some point too. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you for checking out the video and for supporting the channel. Hope you guys have a great day, and until next time, we'll see you soon.